And good morning, Kevin Mill in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio from Nampa Christian High School. Promoting our schools, securing our future, thanks to CapEd Credit Union and Team Mazda Subaru. Mrs. Julie Vermillion joining us now, the elementary school principal. Good morning.
Good morning, Kevin.
What's the state of education today in Idaho? We hear so much about it, and it's always a privilege to be a guest in schools to really get the real skinny. So you're the principal. What's the state of education in your thoughts today?
Well, Idaho is always, I think, known to be, one of the lower as far as academics. I love the choice factor. We have a lot of Christian schools in our area to choose from, as well as charter schools. But I feel like with our growth in Nampa Christian Elementary that parents are knowing there's a choice, especially with Christian Ed. The way society is today, I just feel like they're choosing, for really good reasons. And I think Idaho is coming along that way, where there are more choices.
How important is faith to you and to the people here at Nampa Christian?
Faith is probably the number one thing we talk about in our schools. Our families have faith, and they also have faith in us. And I think trust and faith is a major factor when you're sending your little ones to school. And that's what we instill in our kids, too. You talk about the Bible. We study the Bible like we do a textbook. And I think that's the foundation of life, and that's the foundation we want to give our kids as well as our families.
We take a look at keeping little kids' attention. Mm-hmm. And today, whether you're a little kid or a big kid or a kid at heart, we all have this, we got to go to the phone, we got to go do this, shorter attention spans. Has that changed, in your thoughts, the curriculum at the elementary school level at all? I mean, just to keep everybody's attention?
Yes. I've been in education now about 26 years. I've seen a big difference in that. What we do at Nampa Christian is we try to educate not only our kids in that area, but also our families. And we look at it as sometimes enough is enough. We do try to minimize that, especially in the elementary. We try to educate our parents on that. We do a lot of brain research on technology and what the kids see, take in, and just their visual and their brain aspects of it. We do a lot of research in that, and we find that they are losing how to problem solve. That's probably one of my main...
critical thinking skills?
Oh, yeah. Critical just even on the playground. We're seeing kids lose that these days. They don't know how to problem solve.
Right.
So that's one thing we really teach in our school, especially biblically based. What does God want for your kids?
Right. What does God want for your kids? And one of the reasons why that we love faith-based, Christian-based education and the churches is it just seems it's a refuge for the rest of the world as the world continues to be more secular and go crazy with this, that, and the other. Mm-hmm. It's so reassuring that people aren't alone.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Our world's getting darker.
Right.
And we are the light. That's what
it is
we pride ourselves
getting lighter
in.
Outside right now, let's hope. But you're right
Not
about
that kind of light.
But you're right about that. You're right about that. See, now you're worried about you being not prepared. You're exposing me here on KIDO Talk Radio. But here at Nampa Christian High School, we go back to working with parents, the sacrifice. It's easy to say sacrifice, but, maybe it's that second job or not getting that new car. The faith that they have in the staff here, and then the staff imparting that faith to the kids. So whether they go on to college, they go somewhere else, they're prepared for the world that we live in, which, in my opinion, is not very friendly to people of faith, particularly to the Christians.
Mm-hmm. I really feel like we start in the elementary. I always tell parents when they come and interview with me and take a tour that we are not in a bubble just because we're at a Christian school. We feel like, especially in the secondary school, they prepare them well for that. We do teach the Bible and Christian faith and how to stand for what we believe in, but I really feel like we prepare our kids to go in the outside world, in this darker world, that we can become the light. And I feel like Nampa Christian gives you a good foundation in that, to be able to do that.
couple thoughts. We've been asking everybody this. How important is it to have that name Nampa with you guys, Nampa Christian? What does that mean? There's a lot of pride here. I've studied you guys for years. Slacker Kevin Miller, I've been trying to get in here for years. So it's a pride. There's a lot of great alumni that have gone to this school, that have gone to great things, not only in Nampa but throughout the state. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot for me. Number one, my grandfather was the first board chairman.
Wow.
Back in the 1959, 1960 when we started. My aunt was in the first graduating class. My sister graduated from here. So I have a lot of history with my family. So that means a lot. And you don't have too many schools with that much history and has been going this long and as strong as we've been going. We are growing tremendously. This is my 11th year here. This is the first year that I've added 2 classes to my elementary ever.
Right.
I'm up to 302 kids.
Boy, that's a lot of growth.
It is a lot. 53 new families.
Wow.
So I've had to make a lot of adjustments. But I think just saying Nampa Christian Schools, we are one of the biggest Christian schools here in the Valley. I feel like we represent Nampa well, and we really give a wonderful, not only academically, but spiritual education.
Well, we thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kevin. Thanks for
Julie.
coming.
Appreciate
finally
it.
to Nampa Christian.
I know. I need to get off my duff, but thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless.
God bless you.
Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. From Nampa Christian High School to the White House, John Decker joining us, courtesy of Fox News Radio. John, good morning.
Good morning to you, Kevin. Hope you're doing well today.
We are, once again, promoting our schools, securing our future. And again, the future, of course, always emanating from the White House. And President Trump going to Baltimore to meet with Republicans. And the president isn't at a loss for words when he speaks to just about anybody, but he had some pretty pointed comments for his fellow Republicans.
Well, this was an opportunity for the president to reach out to the people that support him the most. Those are the Republicans in the House of Representatives. The president up for re-election next year, as are every Republican who serves in the House. And so the president ticking off that they have got a good record to run on for re-election. And the president at the same time looking at the field that is hoping to beat him next year in November, and going through each and every one of those candidates that was up on that stage last night and saying he's got nothing to worry about. He called it a weak field that is challenging him. And so the president, I think it was more of a pep rally more than anything else, Kevin, in terms of getting Republicans excited about the next year ahead.
Boy, John, the takeaway that we've been talking about a little here at KIDO Talk Radio was the president saying the Democrats and the media are in collusion. That's one thing for Kevin Miller or Sean Hannity to say that, but the president to say that, again, he goes where none have gone before.
Well, the president, not the first time that he has said that. It won't be the last time that he has said that. As you know, this is one of the talking points the president often makes when he is doing his campaign rallies. I believe he has another campaign rally set for this coming Monday in New Mexico, a state that he did not win in 2016, but believes that he could possibly add or pick up to his electoral college total in 2020. And so, look, this is, plays well to the base. And I've heard him say this line many times out at campaign rallies, and the base loves it.
Any other takeaways from the administration, from the president during his time in Baltimore, John?
Well, Baltimore is his favorite city. No, I'm just kidding. It's not his favorite city, as you know. No, I think that, look, the president has spent time talking to all of those Republicans that, by the way, Baltimore is only about a 40-minute ride away. If you were driving there from Washington, it's much quicker if you're going by Marine One. But, look, this was an opportunity for the president to tell each and every one of those Republicans that they have nothing to fear for next year. There are some Republicans that are in some danger in terms of winning re-election. Most are not. That's typically the case for incumbents. But the president's saying, look, we've got a great record to run on, whether you're talking about the economy and trade, whether you're talking about the tax cut bill that was passed in the first year in office, or whether you're talking about all of the judicial nominees that have been confirmed and taking their place on the federal courts, we've got a lot to crow about, and we can take this message back to, in your case, your home districts, and in the president's case, he can take this to the American people.
John Decker, we always appreciate you. Hardworking guy. You getting any time off?
Well, I just had a little bit of time off. I was at the U.S. Open tennis tournament in New York City, in Queens, New York, this past weekend. So I saw the men's and ladies finals, and that was a great thrill, and always is. But as you know, when you get back after Labor Day, that's when the rubber hits the road. So it's a busy time for us here at the White House, and I think you'll see the president travel quite a bit more over the course of the next few weeks.
It's go time, and I know it's sorry for this association. It's a compliment. Every time I see Serena Williams, I think of you covering her at the U.S. Open. So just a physically dominant.
She came up short. She did not add another Grand Slam to her impressive list of titles. But look, she was not the better player in the women's final. I thought that Bianca Andreescu was going to win about pretty much from the start of the tournament. She's been playing so well. So not a big surprise, but hopefully Serena can, come back and win the next Grand Slam, which is in Melbourne, Australia in January.
John Decker from the White House to the U.S. Open. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. We've been commenting this morning, and, people are, maybe it's Friday, what have you, but this is a comment that I thought would be gold.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47. We're not going to allow it to be used against our fellow Americans anymore.
There we have it, Beto O'Rourke with the comment of the night, plus a little Uncle Bernie for you.
I, who wrote the damn bill, if I may say so, intend to eliminate all out-of-pocket expenses, all deductibles, all co-payments.
Now, again, we all swear, and those of us that don't, you're a better person than most of us. But really, is it really that important for Bernie and Beto to swear? Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Let's go to Blair. Blair, good morning. You're on KIDO Talk Radio. Hey, Blair.
Hey, Kevin. How are you this morning?
Great. Good to have you with us.
Hey, I love those two clips you just played. So there's two reasons why I think politicians use colorful metaphors. We'll just put it that way. One is for the shock factor. They don't want you to actually think about the policy that they're proposing. They want you to be shocked that, into listening to them. And so they use those colorful metaphors. But the second one is, it is actually to distract from the policy because they're terrible policies. They're horrible, horrible ideas. The one is that, you want to rescind the Second Amendment? Fine, do it by amendment. It'll never pass in a million years. The other one, unlimited health care for everybody would destroy the economy, and it would destroy our nation. They're just awful, horrible, terrible policies. And so they use these swear words to try and distract you from those facts. So,
well, and it's crazy that Joe Biden was the voice of reason last night, and it was almost beat on Joe night.
Well, he's made so many mistakes and gaffes, so many misspoken phrases that, he's a fish in a barrel right now, But, you also got to consider he's the more centrist, if you can call him that, of the candidates that are out there. Everybody else is so far out. They are so far left. They're beyond left field. They've climbed over the bleachers and, they're expecting a 1,000-foot hit to left field before they're even in play. They're just so ridiculously out there. None of their ideas, whether it's the Green New Deal or whether it's gun confiscation, none of these are ideas that are American ideas. These are communist ideas. Now, Bernie embraces it, but everybody else are like, oh, no, we're not socialists. Oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Blair, appreciate the insight. Thank you for starting your day with us.
Every morning, Kevin. Every morning. Have a great day.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
I, who wrote the damn bill, if I may say so, intend to eliminate all out-of-pocket expenses, all deductibles, all co-payments.
Roger that, Bernie. Or, as we like to call you around the broadcast center, Jacob. Tom in Nampa, good morning. You're on KIDO Talk Radio. Hello, Tom.
Oh, got a idea for beta. You ever notice they got like alpha males and beta males? Coincidence? Maybe not. Anyway, while he's out busy confiscating all the guns, may I suggest he confiscate all the heroin, cocaine, crack, fentanyl? Kind of round up the whole enchilada. Can I say enchilada without sounding racist? Kind of round up the whole thing.
I like enchiladas.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm more of a burrito man myself, but,
Sure.
And Bernie really does need something to keep his name in the papers because his policies are just ridiculous. So he's got to generate interest in him somehow or other.
Bernie just seems mad.
As a March hare, yes. Has been for years, I suspect. Biden, there was a lot of jokes about President Reagan's age, and maybe he was not quite all there. With Biden, it's not a joke, it's an observation. Oh, I just had a thought. Since this is Idaho, and constitutional carry, concealed without a permit is the law of the land. All these stores, all they did was, move it from open to concealed. I wonder if the store management, or rather the chain management, really thinks that's a good idea. Because, this whole thing was just to placate the, snowflakes and girly men
And
back
the,
east
and the,
and on the coast.
And the beta males.
Yeah. I tell you, the funniest thing in the world to me is seeing a little, I call them lollies, LOL, little old ladies, grandmother type with a very fashionable pink anodized 380 on her belt.
Huh.
And, I've been married long enough. The wife has trained me. I realize how important it is to properly accessorize. And I'm just like, okay, that's Idaho.
Well, you wouldn't see that in California. Tom, thank you for the call. Phone number is 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Join the conversation now.
While Bernie wrote the bill, I read the bill. And on page 8 of the bill, it says that we will no longer have private insurance as we know it. And that means that 149 million Americans will no longer be able to have their current insurance. That's in 4 years.
There we have it. Of course, healthcare was a big topic last night. We'll hear from the president. We'd love to hear from you. And again, Beto O'Rourke saying he's going to take your guns. Bernie Sanders is going to take your healthcare. Mayor Pete, what are you going to take?
I think we do have to go far beyond tinkering with the ACA. I propose Medicare for all who want it. We take a version of Medicare, we make it available for the American people, and if we're right, as progressives, that public alternative is better, then the American people will figure that out for themselves.
Sure. And if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. And blessed to be with you, Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. We're joined by Ms. Taylor Pelkey, student body president, and Mr. Tanner Hill, student body chaplain. Folks, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Let's talk a little bit about your life here at Nampa Christian. We'll start with you, ma'am.
Life at Amber Christian, I love it so much. We have amazing teachers that teach us just about the Bible, and they teach us how to live life and be prepared for when we go outside into the outside world. I love how they challenge us academically, and they're just
Wait a minute,
spiritually.
you like school and teachers?
I do. I love the teachers.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you'll probably have a great future in life. That's wonderful to know.
Thank you.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Please continue.
No, I love the culture that Amber Christian has established. I just love learning, and I love the environment of the student body and the teachers.
How important is it to have God in your life and to be able to talk about God in the classroom?
God is the most important thing here in Amber Christian. We definitely put God first over academics because He's the only way we can get through life. And it's so important that we can talk about God in the classroom because when we have life issues that come up, we can be able to have refuge in our teachers and refuge knowing that we can get through it through God.
Sure. Sir?
I just love the opportunity just to be involved at Amber Christian. You can, every student just has the opportunity just to be involved in so many different ways in sports. We have a great music program, which I love with all my heart, and just with student government. And it's just really awesome to see how God can work through students in a variety of different ways here.
Now, as the student body chaplain, you're going to have to educate me on that, sir. What is that? What is involved in that?
So I'm responsible for sort of the spiritual development and growth of the students here.
Boy, that's a responsibility,
it's
right?
It's definitely a responsibility.
Right.
And then I'm also in charge, I work with the senior Bible teacher to coordinate chapel speakers. We have chapel in the mornings every Wednesday. So I'm in charge of getting the chapel speakers, and then as part of the jazz band I'm in, we're also like the chapel worship band. So I've gotten
the chapel worship band.
Yes. So I've been able to have the opportunity to lead worship here, which has really changed my life.
How?
I don't really know what my future holds, but I might be considering a call into ministry. Maybe something with worship. We'll see what happens, but I'm trusting God through it all.
Sure. And you, ma'am, your future? What's your plan?
I'm not really sure about my future yet. I just know that I just want to follow wherever God wants to lead me. I definitely want to be into ministry in some way, shape, or form, but I also know that I also want to lead people to Christ outside of the church. So I'm maybe looking into going to trade school, but I'm not really sure what God has for me yet.
Now, my favorite part of having students on is this is a station primarily that your parents and grandparents listen to. And, you know, regardless of your relationship with the adults, you always want to be heard. Mm-hmm. So is there anything in particular that you'd like to say to all the parents and grandparents listening right now? You know, because you have their undivided attention. Anything you'd like to share? I know that's such a loaded question, but, you know, I have a lot of things to say to people, but I get to do that all the time. What about you, ma'am?
I think that nobody is too late in life to find the Lord, and I think that everybody has the ability to find God, and that God wants to seek you out, and that God has a plan for everybody. So no matter where you are in life, God has a plan for you. God knows what you're going through, and He's going to help you get through it.
You better watch out, Chaplain.
I know. She's coming for my job.
The president's pretty strong right there. Right?
I would just say that Jesus loves you. I know it sounds cliche, but it's really true.
No. It's okay.
Yeah.
Jesus loves you.
Yeah, it's really true. And just there are a lot of people in this world that just feel brokenhearted and down, but God can lift you up out of that.
And in your young lives, how has He worked through you?
So my sophomore year, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, and that really shook my life. And then through it all, I realized that God was in control. And then my mom had a surgery, and she's completely cancer-free now. But that really showed me that no matter what happens in life, I can trust God, and He'll get me through it.
The tough times.
Yeah.
For me, I haven't really gone through anything that's been a really hard trial like that, but I've definitely gone through everyday life, and people can vouch for me on this, and it's really nice to know that like God can be with you even when you're having a hard day, even when you're going through something, that He's walking with you right through it. And God has just really shown up in my life and opened a lot of doors that I could never have opened myself, and it's really cool knowing that I can just see God's hand throughout my life, and I can take a step back and let God do whatever He wants to do.
KIDO Talk Radio, Kevin Miller in the morning from Nampa Christian High School. A final thought to the two students we're talking to. The outside world is different than the Christian world, than the faith-based world. There's a lot of bad stuff going on. How do you two maintain your faith? Well, come on, Chaplain. We're going to have you go first.
I just realized that even though it's a broken world, God is still working. There's still people out there that truly believe in him and are letting their faith shape their lives and being the light of the world.
Luckily, here at Nampa Christian, the teachers teach you how to defend your faith into the outside world, and
That's important.
It is. It really is. And I really love that the Bible also teaches us how to get through some stuff, and if we just stay strong to the Bible, stay strong to what God has to say, then we'll get through it.
Well, thank you both.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Now we're going to have you
Thank you.
turn around here at KIDO Talk Radio, and you're listening to Kevin Miller from Nampa Christian High School. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Spreading the word, and that's what it's all about today. Thanks to CapEd Credit Union and Team Mazda Subaru. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580. We were talking a little bit about the big debate last night, but to kind of break up the monotony of it, obviously, if you want to talk about the Democrats saying they're going to take your guns, whether it's Kamala Harris, whether it's Beto O'Rourke, whether it's anybody else, whether it's Joe Biden. God bless little Joe last night. Joe Biden said, hey, it's not constitutional. You can't do that. It is wrong. You can't do it. You can't make up the rules as you go. And yet you had people just saying, we don't care. And then here's something else subtly that I want you to be aware of. We have so many people, negative Nellies, and I know you're going to go, Kevin Miller, you're the most cynical person I know, right? I understand that. But attacking the criminal justice system. And when you attack the criminal justice system, you're attacking the brave men and women and their families that serve right along with them of law enforcement. Let's take a listen to Senator Booker.
Our criminal justice system is so savagely broken. There's no difference in America between blacks, whites, and Latinos for using drugs or dealing drugs. But if you're African American, you're almost 4 times more likely to be arrested and incarcerated, destroying your lives. And so much of this comes down to privilege. We have a criminal justice system that Brian Stevenson says treats you better if you're rich and guilty than if you're poor and innocent.
Right. I would say that it's monetary privilege. You know, it wasn't race privilege or white privilege that won World War II, now was it? I think there's an argument there, and I don't really want to get into the race thing, but Senator Booker, to a degree, is right. If you have money, you can buy the best legal defense possible. Look at Weinstein, Harvey Weinstein. He's still running around on bail. You know, look at Les Moonves. These people were accused of a lot of crimes, a lot of bad things. And then you look at someone who's accused of something and they're spending time in the Canyon County Jail because they can't afford bail, because they can't afford an attorney, and the system, yes, is stacked against them. But to go after the criminal justice system, I mean, are we just going to, and it was funny last night, maybe you caught it, where Biden said to Bernie, hey, for a socialist, you have a lot of faith in the capitalistic system of the employers, right? And hopefully we'll get to that. But at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, the continued attacks on law enforcement. Again, Kamala Harris, agitator number one, had this to say, and you have to wonder, as a former prosecutor, what is going on in her head?
I created one of the first in the nation requirements that a state law enforcement agency would have to wear cameras and keep them on full time. I created one of the first in the nation trainings for police officer on the issue of racial bias and the need to reform the system.
You know, how many people that are serving in law enforcement right now, if we ask them either on or off the record, would want to reform the system? Maybe we need to reform our politicians. No, I get that. I get we need to reform our politicians, but are you kidding me? And you remember the vitriol, the hatred that emanated from the Obama administration against the good people of law enforcement. And now you have AOC and Tlaib and Omar and all the others ridiculing law enforcement. You have people saying, we're going to shut down the ICE detention centers. We're going to close down ICE. We're going to do all these things. Is that solving the problem, in your opinion? Getting rid of ICE, getting rid of this, getting rid of the guns, free this, free that. You remember what your parents say. You remember what you say to your kids. If it's too good to be true, it usually is. And I mean, then you have Mr. Yang, another Democratic candidate, saying he wants to give everybody over the age of 18 $1,000 a month. What does that mean? What does that mean? Again, we've gone from an initiative-based society to an entitlement society, right? Think about that. Also, it's been a while since we've talked about the hemp. The Colorado-based company suing the Idaho State Police to get its $1.3 million in hemp back has offered to drop the suit if the state will return the hemp and allow it to send shipments through Idaho. That's right. The company, Big Scientific, in a written statement Tuesday, said it offered to settle this case and all future cases, including claims for money damages against the state, if it will just give back Big Sky's industrial hemp and allow it to continue to do business by shipping its lawful product through Idaho in interstate commerce. Well, with all due respect to the Big Sky Scientific, they're not the bosses of the Idaho State Police. Their spokesperson, Scott Graff, said the company is waiting for a response from the Attorney General, from the state police. You remember, I believe, didn't the drivers plead this out, and we just said, okay, hemp drivers, be good little hemp drivers and run back to wherever you're going and have your hemp and eat it too. Well, almost 7,000 pounds of industrial hemp was captured by the state police. And I know a lot of people are saying, Kevin Miller, hemp's on its way. Kevin Miller, we love the hemp. Kevin Miller, you can't stop the hemp express. I get it. However, it's still illegal in the state of Idaho, and we still don't have a way of determining the difference between hemp and marijuana at the patrol car level. And by the way, in all seriousness, and I love you whether you agree with me or not, I love you whether or not you're mad at me and you used to listen and you say, Kevin Miller wants to take away my right to smoke a weed. Folks, this THC issue in our food, in the vaping, is an issue that is just starting to percolate. We can't afford to lose lives, right? So your thoughts on the hemp issue and whether or not Idaho should say, I'm sorry, hempsters, you can have your truck back. Don't sue us. We don't want to pay the $1.3 million. I think the state has a great case. I hope the state doesn't set a precedent. So we've got hemp, we've got Beto taking your guns, and we have Kamala going after the criminal justice system. Is there any good news? Well, yeah, glad you asked. We're at Nampa Christian High School, thanks to CapEd Credit Union and T Mazda Subaru, as we have for, 6 years now, going on almost 7, promoting our schools, securing our future. We'd love to hear from you. Why don't you join the conversation now? 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Let's go to Patriot Ray, and we just missed Patriot Ray. Sorry about that, Patriot Ray. You're listening to Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Blessed to be with you, Kevin Miller, in the morning, promoting our schools, securing our future as the announcements are heard overhead here at Nampa Christian High School. We're joined by our great friend, the original, and I mean the original, Safer Money specialist, the Safer Money Solutions host, the man that loves the classic cars, loves Idaho, loves America, Ron Grant. Ron, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing today?
Good to have you with us. Big show coming up tomorrow, 2 to 3, talking about how to keep that money safe.
Yeah, we're going to talk about why safety is so important for today's retirement. You know, it may not be where you're putting your money or how much you're putting in, but you might be putting it in a traditional IRA or a traditional 401k, and maybe it's full of risk and fees. So we're going to talk about that. You know, back in 08 and 09 when the market tanked almost 50%, my clients and I, we got a zero. A zero is always better than a loss. I'm going to show you how to have a reasonable range of return Going to have you stop paying those pesky fees that you're paying to your 401k company, your financial planner, your stockbroker. Remember, those fees eat up your returns, and we're going to show you how to have a guaranteed lifetime income that you can't outlive. So make sure you tune in tomorrow live between 2 to 3.
2 to 3 here on KIDO Talk Radio. Now, Ron, if people want to get a hold of you, here's the deal, folks. Ron's a friendly guy. There's no pressure. He just wants to educate you. You go back to 2008, what a different world we live in today. How can people get a hold of you? And if nothing else, how can they make sure their money's safe like it was back in the days of the big recession?
Well, first of all, they can go to the website. I even have a free book, 10 Things to Know About Retirement Income. You can download it and read it. It's safermoneyspecialist.com. You can call me at 208-660-1372. I need about 45 minutes of your time. I can sit down and help you on a one-on-one basis, and if it makes sense, we'll go further.
And we'll take your phone calls live tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 3. I almost said tomorrow morning, 2 to 3, but it's tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 3.
Yeah, I won't be up tomorrow morning between 2 and 3. I can guarantee you that.
All right, Ronnie G., we appreciate you, and we'll be talking classic cars as well, right?
Yeah, we actually have a show tomorrow. It's at Parkview Christian Church. It's a show and a fundraiser in Meridian. Starts at 10 a.m. If you'd like to go, give them a call, 208-343-5461. Shows and fundraisers, especially for the church, is always good. Come out and help them out and see some nice iron.
Ron, we appreciate you. Thank you, Ron Grant.
All right, buddy. Have a great day.
You as well. Let's go to Michelle in Nampa with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio from Nampa Christian High School as the announcements are rolling, and we're in the hallway, which is where we want to be. Good morning, Michelle.
Hi. I just have a couple comments. One's on the law enforcement or the criminal justice. I appreciate them, and I appreciate our system. We've got a really good system compared to a lot of other countries, and I appreciate the policemen and all that. I'm not against them, but I do have a couple people that were close to me that were in law enforcement, and they had to get out because there's a lot of things going on within law enforcement and a lot of bad things. And so I think the people who want the reform, I think a lot of people from inside the system would like it too. So I think the only ones that wouldn't like it maybe would be the people who are doing the bad things, So I don't think the good people take it as offensive. I think they take it maybe as a good thing. I know that the people who are close to me would have liked to see some reform so that they didn't have to get out of the system, but a job they loved. And then the second point I was going to make about the hemp, I'm not really for hemp or against it. I really am neutral. But I did notice that you said that at one point you said about immigration that we should obey the federal law, which is against immigration. So now you don't want to obey the hemp law, which is legal federally. So, you kind of can't have it both ways. If you're going to go by federal law for immigration, you got to go by federal law for hemp. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
No, you did it. That was a good job, Michelle. That's important. However, wow. Well, I think you stumped me on that one.
So, yeah, we either got to obey it in one part or not the other, or change the federal law. Or
the federal government should enforce their laws, and if they would, you would have, hemp being free here in Idaho, right?
Yeah, because it's legal federally.
Right, and if the feds enforce their laws, you would have marijuana not being legal in any state.
Right, yeah, that's true. But yeah, hemp, we're talking about hemp. Hemp is legal federally.
Sure.
So, yeah,
but not in the state.
We got to obey the immigration law, which
well,
I just see
we don't obey the immigration laws, and
no, I know,
right.
But you're saying
boy.
you're for that.
Yes, yeah, you got me. Do you want to? What? You're going to rub it in now?
No, I just, I pay attention. So.
Do you want to mention that one more time?
No, you're doing a good job. I just want to all that,
Yeah, good point.
You got to think both ways sometimes,
Well, all right, Michelle. I'll be looking out for you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, thank you, Terry from State College, Pennsylvania, emailing me all caps, she got you. Yeah, thanks. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. If you're just tuning in, Big Sky Scientific, they want their hemp back. They're saying they're going to drop their lawsuit against the state of Idaho. The state has yet to respond. 7,000 pounds of industrial hemp. The Ada County Port of Entry, they arrested the truck driver on the charges of trafficking marijuana. The agency has kept the hemp as evidence in the driver's criminal case. It's uncertain how the hemp has fared during its month-long stint in the ISP's evidence storage. Probably not too good for the hemp. But regardless of that, they say, please just give us the hemp back and we will go away. But we do want to make sure that we're allowed to drive the hemp through the state. Currently in the state of Idaho, hemp is illegal. Federally, though, it is legal. Once again, thank you, Michelle, for pointing that out and the hypocrisy of my argument. But aren't we all hypocrites? Traffic and weather together. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM, and the KIDO Talk Radio. Don't forget our newsletter. It is free. Just go to our website for more details. Coming up, how you can win Kevin Miller's cash. Good morning.